As one of only 10 clubs to have competed in the inaugural season of Major League Soccer back in 1996, New England Revolution have a storied history. After several difficult years early in their formation, the Revs finally began to experience some success, becoming regular fixtures in the playoffs and making 3 consecutive MLS Cup Finals. However, it seemed that New England were destined to forever be the bridesmaid and never the bride, making the final on 5 separate occasions but never managing to come away with the trophy. And though the Revolution broke the regular season points record back in 2021, they've been a team mired in mediocrity for the better part of 2 decades. Now, however, many New England fans can only dream of mediocrity. After managing just 4 wins and 13 points from their opening 15 games, the Revolution would go on to finish the 2024 season bottom of the Eastern Conference, and head coach Caleb Porter would walk out on the club after only a year in charge. But whilst the season was arguably the most embarrassing in the club's history, with the first overall pick in the MLS SuperDraft, some high-quality head coaching candidates on the market, and the transfer window set to open, opportunity lies just around the corner and the pieces could soon be in place for a revolution here in New England. The first item on Revs owner Robert Kraft's agenda is to appoint a new head coach, and the man he's chosen for the job is former Manchester United player and manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Since leaving United, Solskjaer has been keeping a close eye on the MLS. He's visited with a number of clubs and has even been linked with the head coach position at Charlotte FC. With him, Solskjaer brings a wealth of experience and football acumen, as well as a vast network of connections, not only from his time as a manager, but also from his time as a player. And the time that Solskjaer has spent out of coaching has given him plenty of time to rethink his tactics and strategies. Under their new manager, New England will employ a direct, aggressive, high-pressing 4-2-4 formation, looking to win the ball back early and often, and taking advantage of those turnovers to flood the box and create goal-scoring opportunities. And with a clear and specific vision in mind, Solskjaer is going to be able to use the off-season to shape the Revolution squad in his new image, not only via the transfer market, but also via the 2025 MLS SuperDraft. There are a wide variety of exciting young players in this year's draft, and with the first overall selection, Solskjaer is going to have his pick of the litter. Thomas Lewis is a tall, physical centre-back who has already shown that he can lead a team. Taylor Harrison is a box-to-box midfielder with a moderate ceiling but a very high floor. Tyler Lewis is a pacey, technical left-back who should offer as much going forward as he does in defence. And Tyler Dean is a young goalkeeper with a very bright future. But with New England on the clock and the seconds rapidly ticking away, the time has come to select the potential future face of the Revolution here in New England. Now, while I hope the MLS SuperDraft might be a feature in FC25, it doesn't really exist here in FC24. So if you're wondering how I did this, I set up a career mode save with 3 5-star scouts and sent them out to the USA, Canada, and England for 9 months each. I then simulated 8 months into the future and went through each of the scouts' reports. I removed all 15-year-old prospects, and some players had been stolen by other clubs, but I sorted all remaining players into round 1, round 2, and round 3 prospects based on a combination of their overall value and potential. I then input the names of those prospects into 3 spin the wheel randomizers, 1 for each round. In real life, MLS teams spend a lot of time and resources scouting potential future prospects. So to replicate the information that a team might have, I assigned the players different size portions of the wheel, again based on their overall and potential. The player with the highest upside gets the biggest portion, but the team with the first overall pick won't necessarily always come away with the best player in the draft, so the other prospects are still in play. So with the number 1 overall selection in the 2025 MLS SuperDraft, the New England Revolution select goalkeeper Tyler Dean. Dean is a little on the shorter side at just 6'1", but he has massive upside and his range of attributes look pretty solid. Goalkeeper is not exactly a position of strength on the team either, so Dean could find himself in the starting lineup sooner rather than later. Each of the other first round talents are off the board here in round 2, having been taken by other teams, so our wheel now features a handful of lesser talents with lower overalls and potentials. And again, they've been given different portions of the wheel. So with the 30th overall selection in the 2025 MLS SuperDraft, the New England Revolution select Elliot Newton. Newton doesn't have the highest upside with a potential range of just 72 to 76, but he should have some pace immediately. His dribbling looks good, so a good technical player and a center attacking midfielder. Again, another player that we could use in the starting 11. And finally, with the 60th overall selection in the 2025 MLS SuperDraft, the New England Revolution select Kai Whitehead. Whitehead only has a potential range of 62 to 66, but he has all the physical tools to succeed at centre-back. And here in the third round, that's pretty much all we could ask for. Once the draft class had been finalised, I simply promoted our selections to the first team, made a note of all their information and attributes, created them as custom players, and then added them to the New England Revolution squad before I started up my career mode save. So with the addition of those young players to the side, this is how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team currently looks. And whilst our first round pick might be able to make an impact on the side in his rookie season, there are clearly still a handful of holes that need to be filled. Fortunately, we have a solid month to bring in new players via the transfer market, and there are 3 specific types of players that we'll be looking for. Firstly, we need a new centre-back. Kessler is a solid option, and whilst Farrell and Mensah are first team quality right now, they're 31 and 33 respectively, so we need to start planning for the future at the position. Secondly, we need a defensive-minded centre midfielder who will be able to provide some cover for our back line, especially when our fullbacks advance to support the attack. We don't have a great deal of depth at centre-back, so it's also important that we bring in someone with enough positional flexibility to be able to drop back into the back line when needed. And finally, whilst we have high hopes for the future of Giacomo Vrioni, Solskjaer's plans to play 2 up front mean that we need to find the Robin to Vrioni's Batman. We need somebody with pace and technical ability, somebody who's able to make runs in behind and work off the shoulder of the last defender in Solskjaer's new direct aggressive system. And whilst I do believe that we'll be able to find some players that can make a difference at those positions, our options will be somewhat limited thanks to the rules and restrictions that MLS clubs are forced to abide by. Firstly, the MLS has a salary cap, and this year that's going to be set at 6 million. We'll be sticking strictly to that salary cap, tracking our wages over the course of each season and making sure that any new additions don't take us over the cap. There'll also be a maximum salary of 700,000 per player per year. Secondly, the MLS also has some fairly strict rules around the structure of each team's roster. Each squad can be no more than 30 players, and these 30 players must be divided into 2 separate rosters. The senior roster is made up of 20 players, each of whom has a maximum salary which counts towards the salary cap. The supplemental roster is made up of 10 players who do not count towards the salary cap but who must fit into certain categories, such as being a homegrown player or a Generation Adidas prospect. 22 of the 30 players must be domestic players, whilst 8 can be international players. Each MLS team also has an allocation of 3 designated players. These are players whose transfer costs and salaries don't count towards the salary cap. And this is how LA Galaxy were able to sign David Beckham back in 2007, and how Inter Miami were able to sign the likes of Lionel Messi and Sergio Busquets more recently. We do already have our 3 designated players in Carles Gil, Thomas Shankale, and Giacomo Vrioni, so we will have to be somewhat reserved when scouring the market for new talent. And Solskjaer has wasted no time signing his first player. Leonard Maloney arrives from Heidenheim, a 24-year-old with that positional versatility, primarily a central defensive midfielder, but can drop into the back line. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, and he's going to make a big difference to the starting lineup of this new look Revolution side. Maloney is a 72 overall, just 24 years of age, so a signing for the future as well as the present. He's 6'2", 196 with 73 defending and 85 physical, a high defensive work rate as well. And he has 3 playstyles in bruiser, relentless, and aerial. So he'll be a really solid defensive option. He is also from the US, so we are bringing him back home. One of our board objectives was to sell 2 players and sign 2 crucial players to replace them. So Maloney does go some way to fulfilling that particular objective. And it's Germany and the Bundesliga once more the source of new talent for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Philipp Neumann, a 6'6" centre-back, also arrives, this time from Hanover. I've actually given him a couple of extra inches, but he is 6'4", 180 pounds, a 71 overall, and again, 26 years of age, so a signing as much for the future as for the present. And Neumann is a fantastic athlete. He has 87 pace and 76 physical at 6'4". Also has a high defensive work rate and 2 playstyles in block and even rapid. Neumann is from Germany though, so he will count towards our allocation of 8 international players. So Neumann slots into the back line alongside Kessler. Maloney slots into midfield alongside Carles Hill. And already the starting 11 is looking much stronger. We do still need to fill that second striker role alongside Giacomo Vrioni though. And with only a week until the closure of the transfer window, we are running out of time. And the final player to make his way through the doors at New England is Luciano Rodriguez. Currently down as a right winger, but we're going to get him on a training plan and move him to a striker position. Very, very pacey, very, very technical. Lots and lots of flair and creativity up front. And he arrives from Liverpool, not English Premier League Liverpool, but the South American side, and he'll be a fantastic partner to Vrioni. So the new look starting 11 for season 1 is complete, and with very little time to spare. The squad has rounded out nicely with a good mix of youth and experience throughout the senior roster, whilst the supplemental roster features our 3 rookies as well as a handful of other youngsters who will be hoping to break out this season. And we are currently using 7 of our 8 allocated international player spots. In terms of salaries, we are well under the team salary cap, spending $5.09 million on salaries this year. And we are also in compliance with the maximum player salary cap. Carles Hill is our highest paid player. His cap hit is $676,000 this year. So the transfer window does close, and all that's left is to prepare for our very first opponents in the MLS this season, DC United. If you're new to the channel, we keep things as realistic as possible here, and that includes the gameplay. So we play 10-minute halves, we play on legendary difficulty, we play on default game speed, we use full manual controls, and I have a custom slider set. There's a video breaking down the slider set on my channel. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure you go ahead and do that. I'll also be trying out a new format for episodes in this series. Each episode will contain the fixtures in 1 calendar month. We'll feature 1 game each month with full-length unedited gameplay. I will play 2 or 3 additional games and show you the highlights of those, and then the remaining games in the month will be quick simmed. That should allow us to cover a little bit more ground in these series and move through things a little bit quicker, while still maintaining that deep immersive experience that you don't tend to see in a lot of other career mode saves. So we do just have the 1 game to play here in February as we kick off our season against DC United. I've built out the tactics and system of this squad as much as possible, but it often does take a little bit of time to settle into a new system. So of course we'll try and go out and get the win here on opening day, but it might take us a little bit of time to settle in and find our feet. But hopefully we at least see some good performances from those new signings like Rodriguez. Rodriguez does get the start today up front alongside Giacomo Vrioni. Thomas Shankele plays just behind them. It's the Hill brothers at centre and right midfield, with the new boy Leonard Maloney at central defensive midfield. Jones and by the fullbacks Kessler alongside another debutant Neumann at centre-back. Ravas starts in goal. As for DC United, they're going to start in a 4-2-3-1 narrow formation, so we may be able to exploit them with our wing play. I don't follow the MLS particularly closely, so there's not going to be too many players that I'm familiar with in each of these squads, but I am of course familiar with Christian Benteke, who starts up front. So without further ado, let's head down to Washington DC and see if we can spark the fires of revolution here in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first season with New England. So we are up in the commentary box for the kickoff of a brand new series. New England Revolution had a terrible, terrible season. As I record this, they do currently sit bottom of the Eastern Conference, and there looks to be really no way that they will not finish bottom of the Eastern Conference. In absolute disarray and turmoil at the moment. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the man poised to turn it all around. Previous head coach Caleb Porter disappears as quickly as he appeared. And it's going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to revolutionise this starting 11 and hopefully rekindle the former success of the club. Hopefully get them back to another MLS Cup Final, but hopefully take home the trophy for the very first time as well. Couple of new additions to the starting 11 as Jones tries desperately to keep the ball in on this left-hand side, but fails. Immediately steals the ball away from DC United, though. And one of those new boys, Rodriguez, has a chance immediately. 5 minutes into the game. And we have seen immediately why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer targeted Rodriguez. That pace in behind is going to be absolutely lethal and is very much going to be the way we are looking to play this season. Looking to make runs in behind, looking to win the ball back deep in our own half and break quickly. And we've given the ball away there with Neumann. We are going to leave ourselves exposed at the back at various points this season, almost inevitably, almost unavoidably, based on the system that we are playing. But it's been a pretty torrid time for New England fans of late, so we are at the very least going to try to inject a bit of entertainment, rekindle their love of football. At the very least, we're going to score some goals. Shot from range, Ravas parries away. How long Ravas will keep his place in goal, I'm not sure. Our first round pick is going to be knocking on the door before too long. And despite being so young, he's barely a worse goalkeeper at the moment. And you could argue, based on the spread of his attributes, that he's actually a better goalkeeper already than Navas. But the incumbent goalkeeper will get the start. That's a good pass, slipped through to Carlos Hill, who's going to have to really pull the strings in centre midfield for us. Leonard Maloney is not an attacking midfielder by any means, so we're really going to be relying on Carlos Hill to be the link between the defensive back line and those strikers. When we do need a midway point between the two anyway, we are primarily going to be looking to get the ball forward and pretty much circumvent the midfield. That's why we have Brioni. That's why we have Rodriguez. That's why we have Thomas Shankly set to stay forward as well. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly as well, Shankly. As Jones tries to find him on the left-hand side. DC United, a fairly robust start to the game, though. They've been decently organised in these opening 15-20 minutes or so, and they've proven a pretty difficult side to break down. The one moment, good block by Neumann, the one moment that we really have tested them is when we drop that ball in behind for Rodriguez to chase, so we'll try and do that a little bit more often. It's going to be Click to put the corner in for DC, though. We are not the best in the air with this particular squad. We don't have a huge number of players who are going to be aerial threats, either defensively clearing the ball away, as we have managed to do there, or when we get our own set pieces. And we have an opportunity again to break away here. Rodrigo. But instead we try and slip the ball through to Bai. Good challenge, Nacho Hill. And there's Bai once more, and he's going to take a shot from a narrow angle. Potentially the better option would have been to lay it off to one of those strikers. But again, we get another shot on target. Shots on target fairly evenly spread between the two sides early here. We do want to get our fullbacks like Bai and Jones involved in our attacking play. They are both very much attack-minded fullbacks from what I can tell, and both at the very least pacey, can carry the ball forwards should be able to get involved in some attacking play. There's Vrioni. It's Carlos Hill. Maloney. Big switch of players on if we can find by, which we can. And he will have a chance to run at the DC back line. And a chance to cross in as well. And Vrioni was in a good position to turn an effort towards goal. Dealt with well by DC before the danger really materialised, though. Maloney, of course, another of those new signings. And we do need him to be very robust in the centre of midfield. He's really going to be that additional defensive presence, because if we are getting our fullbacks forward in support, we are going to leave ourselves exposed defensively. So Maloney is very much going to have to cover the back four in that regard. His bye once more. Really good feet. Can he find a man in a New England shirt? Again, he can't. Promising signs, though, for New England early. We are working the ball into the kind of situations that we would like to work them into, and we've managed to do so again here. And there's Vrioni at the back post, parried up by the DC goalkeeper. And Rodriguez was there, ready to tap the ball into an empty net. But the DC defender manages to hold him off, box him out, and clear the ball away before he was able to do so. But if Rodriguez got any kind of contact on that, surely it would have been a goal, because the goalkeeper was on the ground. The net was wide open and there for the taking. We have defended well in this opening half an hour as well. We are set up to defend deep, to get bodies behind the ball and to spread and break when we do manage to win it back. Turn towards goal by DC, but headed away by Vrioni. He, although he's a striker, is going to be one of our primary defenders on set pieces. Good save, Revs. Parried away to his left-hand side. And again, Click will put the corner in. DC pressing for a goal as we begin to approach the end of the first half. We're not there quite yet, but half an hour in, you're starting to think about half-time at the very least. DC work the ball back. Rodriguez tracking back to defend. We do just manage to keep DC at bay on the edge of our own penalty area. Do manage to cut inside and work the ball into Benteke, though, who absolutely lashes a shot towards goal. And I thought I was about to see the net ripple there, but it flashes wide and it hits the stanchion, holding the net up. But that was a vicious shot. And if that was on target, I don't think Revs would have been able to do anything about it. Maloney by in plenty of space on this right-hand side. Hill making the run in behind. Vrioni. Poor cross, really poor cross. Didn't put anywhere near enough on it, and that was a real opportunity because we had 2-on-2 in the box. Vrioni and Rodriguez. We really should have made more of that. It was a really poor ball in from Nacho Hill. And Teke does find his partner up front. DC trying to get in down their left-hand side. Bai can't quite intervene. We are going to have to step up and challenge here on the edge of the box. That's where DC have had a lot of success here in this first half. Really good challenge, though. And again, we will try and break. And this is exactly why we kept Thomas Shankele forward. Vrioni, back post, wide open. Takes the ball down in the box. What a finish. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's influence is immediately paying dividends. That is exactly the game plan that I've been explaining over this first half an hour or so. We sit deep, we defend our penalty area, we keep our three forwards high up the pitch in Vrioni, Rodriguez and Shankele. And it is two of those three that combined for the opening goal. Vrioni with a really good touch, and he was all on his own in the penalty area. All he had to do was get solid contact. And he did keep his head, and he did tuck the ball away in the bottom corner. And it's, I want to pronounce that Giacomo. I'm not sure if it's Giacomo, though. I feel like a typical English person pronouncing a foreign name if I say Giacomo. we tend to pronounce every single syllable, whereas in actuality, you know, the syllables should be combined, like Giacomo. So somebody in the comment section potentially can clarify either way on a couple of these players' names. Is it Giacomo or Giacomo? Is it Shankale? Is that the correct pronunciation? Particularly if we've got New England fans in the comments. I know one or two viewers of my previous series. I'm going to have to switch on a little bit here. Ravas, that's poor. Immediately we concede. I take my eye off the ball because I'm getting too hung up on pronunciations of names. And it's that Click. It looked like Click, and it was. Really poor from Navas. He's made one or two decent saves, but he lets himself down at his near post. No goalkeeper likes to be beaten at the near post. And whilst we should really have the lead at half-time, it does look as though it's going to be all level. I want to say there is a Click that plays maybe for Leeds United. Or maybe there is... Maybe it's not Leeds United. I feel like there's a footballer called Robert Click. Not sure if Mateus is any relation, or if that's just a player that I've completely made up and Robert Click doesn't exist. But either way, Hill will put the corner into the box where Vrioni lies in wait. Nacho Hill to retain possession, not quite. Trying to find his brother on the right-hand side, but couldn't. And DC looking to work one final opportunity of this first half. Really good intervention by Kessler. And maybe it's us who can have the final opportunity. By with just a bit too aggressive a run there on the right-hand side. He was ploughing forward, and I appreciate the run. But we couldn't quite find the gap to thread the ball through to him. I swear he's a Leeds player. I swear there's a Leeds player called Robert Click. And it looks exactly like him as well. It looks exactly like the Click I have pictured in my head. Maybe I'll have to look up this guy at half-time and see if he exists or not. So, back out for the second half, and I was half right. There is no Robert Click. He's not a person. He doesn't exist. However, Mateus Click, who is playing for DC United here, did play for Leeds. He played for Leeds for about 6 years. So that is why I recognise the name. That is why I recognise the face as well. I was surprised to see a face scan for a player in the DC United side. But apparently his name is Mateus, not Robert. Maybe it's Robin Koch. Maybe I'm getting confused. But bright start from DC United as Jones makes a big run forward from his fullback position now. Again, we can't find him though, like by at the end of the first half. And DC United again have started the brighter of the two sides. And again, they try and work the ball around the penalty area. And we do a good job initially of holding them off. Kessler is there to do just that. As is Maloney, puts in a good challenge, and the linesman is flagging on that far side of the field, and I have no idea why, because that was a fantastic challenge from Maloney. And this is actually in a very, very good position for DC United. And this free kick could be trouble. No, wrong way, Wall. And it is going to be a direct shot. What a goal. What a goal. We said the free kick could be trouble, and it does prove to be the case. Absolutely clinical finish. I thought I timed the jump with the wall fairly well. And we did. I mean, we timed the jump with the wall perfectly. We've got Jones, Rodriguez. I mean, it's gone right through the middle of them. We've picked, I think, our 4 shortest players in the entire team to be in the wall. I really wish you could change things like that in FC. Positions of players on set pieces. I would like to be able to select my own wall. More so though, I'd like to be able to select the players that I have in the box for corners and free kicks. and select where they are in the box for corners and free kicks as well. Thomas Shankale, what an effort. Carried the ball down the left-hand side. Really good feet to cut inside and work a shot on his right foot. And Neumann gets caught high up the pitch, lunges for a challenge, gets it completely wrong, and we are in trouble again here. Can he stop the cross? No, he can't. Good block. And we do manage to work the ball free. There's Rodriguez. A couple of players over if we can find them, and we can't. Really disappointing. We had a quick break on two sides of the field there. Oh, what a save, Ravas. What a save, Ravas. I was all ready for it to be 3-1. But a goalkeeper comes out with a really good save. He let us down in the first half, conceding at his near post, but he's made a big, big stop there. And I very much would like to at least come away with a draw. I want something to show for our first outing. It is away from home. And it is, of course, the first time that we're playing with this new system, which hasn't played too badly, to be fair. Brioni. And again, can we catch DC napping? Rodriguez in behind. I don't think he's quite going to get there. He's quick, but he's not that quick. Cleared away by DC. Maloney, though, wins the header. Inside to Nacho Hill. Nope, that was Carles Hill. Now we've got Nacho Hill, who's lofting the ball into the box, and again cleared away by DC. I feel like there's potential with this system. I feel like once we really tweak it and we refine it, and we get the ideal player instructions, the ideal, width and depth and things like that, and the tactics, I think we'll definitely be able to use this system to success this season. Because we've had some flashes today of it working the way that we would like. And certainly with the goal, that was the case. Really good challenge. Jones, can he find Shankale on this left-hand side? Yes, he can, and that's got to be a foul. And it is. Potential to make a change or two here for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Our bench isn't the strongest, but DC are going to make a change. And I think we'll bring some fresh legs on as well. So just the one change for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the Revolution, but it is an attacking one. Nacho Hill to come off to be replaced by Bobby Wood. So Bobby Wood's going to go up front alongside Vrioni. Rodriguez is going to move out to the left-hand side where Thomas Shankale was playing, and Shankale has dropped in at right midfield in Nacho Hill's former position. Shankale trying to make a difference in that new role immediately. Rodriguez the same. Trying to pin DC United deep here, and we do manage to do exactly that. If we can take this throw-in quickly, we may be able to create an opportunity here. Bobby Wood. Really poor. Still an opportunity, though, to find Vrioni in the box. Cleared away. Bobby Wood challenges for the header. Again, can't make anything happen. Good coverage on that left-hand side from Jones to prevent the quick counter-attack. But worked well by DC, and they still are committing players forward. I mean, we're going to have to be careful here as we press for an equaliser. We're going to have to be careful that we don't concede a third goal and allow DC United to finish this game. Cleared away at the near post. Carles Hill competing but can't quite win it. Blocked and away to the DC left. Nicely worked. Space for a cross if they can find bodies in the box. Really well worked, Benteke. Decent enough defending, but we're going to have to put in a foot here at some point. And all we can do is manage to block the shot once more. And again, it's going to be a corner for DC United. At some point, you have to imagine they're going to make one of these count. Again, cleared away, though. Really good header. And Bai brings it down again. Cannot clear, though. We have an opportunity to break there, and we just don't take it. And we have that same opportunity again here with Thomas Shankale. Brioni. And he is onside. And somehow we don't have the players forward. somehow we don't have the players forward to hit DC on the quick counter-attack. And I think that's going to be the story of this game. DC have taken their opportunities when we've had an opportunity to break. We haven't been as clinical as we will need to be to come away with the result. Oh, and the same again. What a save. I mean, Benteke hit it pretty much straight at Revs. But that's so frustrating. Maloney with a chance this time for the quick break. And it's another really poor pass. Pretty much straight to the feet of a DC man. Punched away by Revs, who actually, aside from that goal in the first half, has had a very solid performance. Really good challenge. Let's make this counter-attack count this time. Jones. Rodriguez up ahead of him. Found by Jones. And again, we'll put the cross in. Looking for Vrioni. Can't quite get there. Cleared away by DC. Nodded down by Maloney, though. And I've got an entire player between the DC defender and the ball. And they... Oh, it really frustrates me that the CPU are able to tackle you from behind. And you are not afforded that same luxury. Not even close. Maloney clears it away. Shankale on this right-hand side. Again, we have an opportunity to break. Bobby Wood, Rodriguez in acres of space. And again, we need to try and find a New England player in the box. Shankale at the back post takes it down. No, we had an opportunity just to nod it in at the back post there. I thought the goalkeeper was going to claim. But he just watched the ball sail straight over his head. And I think Shankale was just as surprised that the ball fell to him, because he took it down on his chest. And that's 3-1. What a counter. What an attack. And with 10 minutes to go, that's surely the game now. 2-goal lead for DC. 10 minutes left to play. And I mean, it's not undeserved, to be fair. They've been the better side. And that's what we know Benteke for. We know him for very little else, but I mean, what we really know Benteke for is putting the ball over the bar in those kinds of situations. But another change or two coming here. So 2 more changes for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Bai comes off, Carles Hill comes off, Lima comes on at right back, Noel Buck comes on in centre midfield. But as we said, actually it was 3 changes. Boateng comes on for Rodriguez on the right-hand side. Shankale from range. Good effort. Parried away by the DC goalkeeper. It's another shot on target for Shankale, though. And Boateng, chance to use his pace against these. Never mind. Final changes of the game for DC. And I don't know... Oh, good challenge. Boateng lofts the ball into the box for Bobby Wood. And maybe we have life yet. 7 minutes remaining. And it's just 3-2 now. I mean, we said there's going to be goals in these games. That's just the way that we're set up. Really good finish from Bobby Wood on the volley. We win the ball high. Really measured, really controlled finish from the substitute. And with 5 minutes to go, maybe we have something here. Maybe we have a way back into this game. Bobby Wood trying to win the ball back immediately. And I think we need more help in midfield, pretty much. So I think, of course, we have Maloney. But I think we need more help from our other centre midfielder. I want to keep Carlos Hill pretty much free. I don't really want him coming back to... I don't want him lumbered with defensive responsibilities, pretty much. Good save, Revs. But I think we might just need the additional player in a defensive position, because we're being outnumbered at the back at various points. Benteke there once more. We do get a head on it, though. Nodded down on the edge of the box. Noel Buck there with a really good challenge and breaks away. Do we have players in support? Not really. So I think that's something we need to try and address in our tactics as well. Benteke, don't make it 4. Good save, good save. Get there, get there, get there. Can't quite. And how many corners is this for DC now? I've lost count. But it's going to be another cross into the box from Click. Claimed well by Revs. Can we create one final opportunity as we approach the 90th minute here? Lima switches play. Boateng. Again, a chance to use his pace. And again, fails. Absolutely awful. Good challenge though from Kessler. And there's Jones. And again, Boateng. Now with a real chance to use his pace. Bobby Wood once more. Plays it into the path of Noel Bark. Good save. Good save by the DC United goalkeeper. It was a good effort by Noel Bark. Just put his foot through the ball. Laid off nicely from Bobby Wood. And it was a very good strike. And Shankly is going to put this final corner into the box. What you would imagine anyway is going to be the final corner. And we have Maloney at the back post. And again, parried away by the DC United keeper. And it's not going to be the final corner. We're going to have one more. DC celebrating as if they've won the game. And they may well have done. What a save. I mean, there was a boot in there as well, which may have got to the ball if the keeper didn't. That's a poor corner. And they have a Shankly. One final opportunity for Ione in the box. It sails over his head. Can Maloney win the header? Not quite. And there goes the final whistle. So it is going to be defeat on opening day for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the New England Revolution. So unable immediately to turn the tide of defeat. But there were some promising signs. There were some less than promising signs as well. The fact that we allowed 7 attempts to Benteke and we allowed probably double-digit corners, I would have to imagine. But there were some promising signs, I think, with some tweaks to the tactics. There's some potential in this squad for Season 1. So disappointing defeat on opening day, but it's not an undeserved victory for DC United. You have to hope for patience from the supporters. Like we said, it does take time for new systems to bed in, for new players to adapt to those new systems. And there is still a lot of football to be played this year. Rodriguez was a bright spark. Neumann looked decent at the back as well. Maloney was solid in midfield. So at least Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified some players that could make a difference for this team. At the very least, we don't sit bottom of the Eastern Conference. New York City and Chicago Fire have each lost more heavily than us, and they've each played 2 games. So with a win, we can soon rocket up the Eastern Conference. And we'll look to do that in March. We'll be playing all 4 games next month versus Toronto, Atlanta, Cincinnati, and Chicago Fire. We'll be playing one of them in full. I'll probably play the highlights of 2 of them and then quick sim the final game. So we'll look forward to that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.